This week on Hooligan Nation, we bring in Victor Ruiz from the Signals from Mars podcast to break down and discuss KISS receiving the Kennedy Center honors. What does it mean? And where do KISS go from here? Stick around to find out, because you got
nothing to lose.
You got nothing to lose.
You got nothing.
Oh, no, you got nothing to lose.
You wanted the best. Well, they retired. So you got two dudes in a garage.
Talking KISS. Welcome back to Hooligan Nation, the KISS-Centric podcast, the podcast where the riffs are loud, but our opinions are louder. I'm Anthony.
I'm Rocco.
Holy helium. What are you trying to get, an audition for Vinnie Vincent's next singer?
Maybe.
This week, we bring in a special guest to help us break down and dissect KISS being honored by the Kennedy Center. But before that, we have news, music we're listening to, and of course, our weekly poll. But first, recap of last episode. Vinnie Vincent Invasion, self-titled debut. Do you have anything you'd love to add to that extravagant piece of music?
Yeah, I mean, I like the album, but this is a reoccurring theme with Vinny. Incredible talent. He goes overboard a lot, which to me, from that album, it made a lot of the songs sound. It kind of clumps a lot of those songs together. There were two songs on that album I really like a lot: "Boys Are Gonna Rock" and I forget the other one.
Back on the Streets.
Yeah, "Back on the Streets." But I mean, listen, I'm always going to be a fan of Vinny. The stuff that he did with KISS, I absolutely love. And like I said, I think he's an incredibly talented guitarist. But listening to that album makes you realize that, if he was able to rein it in a little bit more, he probably would have been recognized even better, even more. But sometimes he just goes overboard.
My two biggest judgment things with Vinny is one trick pony. And he's just over the top. I think he would have done much better with a producer that had the control. Like, that could have said,
Right.
No. We don't need a 3-minute solo in a 3-minute song, making it a 6-minute song. News. You got any news?
I do. It's going to be a little interesting. I just got a little bit of it. It's actually not really news. I found it interesting. I just did a little check on Loudwire just to see if there's anything newsworthy. And what I came up with was they have a thing on there today. 5 times legendary rockers attended the same high school. I thought it'd be interesting. I thought it'd be interesting if you're curious. So
Tom Morello's on that list.
Adam Jones from Tool and Tom Morello went to Libertyville High School in Illinois. Slash and Lenny Kravitz went to the same high school in Beverly Hills High. Flea and Anthony Kiedis, everybody knows that, from Chili Peppers, went to Fairfax High. Alex Lifeson and Geddy Lee went to Newton Brook High in Toronto.
I didn't know that.
And Mike Dint and Billy Joe Armstrong of Green Day went to that same high school.
Well, I didn't know that either.
So I thought it was interesting.
Well, you would.
Yeah. Something different, man. I can give you, it's something different. I give you lists once in a while, got to mix it up once in a while.
So my news is, for those that don't know, there is an Ozzy Osbourne documentary out there that was done by the BBC, and it was supposed to be documenting pretty much the end of his life. It was supposed to document his move from Los Angeles to England, his move back. And I guess about a week and a half ago, the BBC started to publicize the fact that it was supposed to get played last Monday night. And then all of a sudden Monday night came around and I guess it didn't play. and the BBC put a initial press release out that it was postponed, and as time went on, a couple days, because we're filming on a Wednesday, at in the couple days, more has trickled out, and the BBC put out a bigger press release, I think yesterday or today, saying that the family asked for more time before it aired. So I don't really know what's in it. I don't know anything else about it. I just know it was out there. It was supposed to document the move and I guess the end of his life, and they don't want it to come out yet.
That's
And
understandable.
I mean,
The wound's still real extremely
yeah.
fresh.
I give the BBC credit, because now is the time to strike for ratings and for advertising dollars. And every day that we get farther away, I mean, we are what we are. Nobody remembers. 6 months from now, very few people will watch that. Today, you don't have to be an Aussie fan. People will watch it.
Right.
So I thought it was a class move by the BBC. Next, this weekend I watched the Ghost movie. No, I don't. No, not the movie Ghost with Whoopi Goldberg. The band Ghost. I thought it was a documentary. As it turned out, it was a concert movie. I do not like watching concerts on television. Don't ask me why, but I don't. But I did sit through it because Ghost interests me. I don't know what to think of their music. I have yet to figure out whether I like it or not and how much I like it. But due to their KISS connections, and there's a lot of KISS connections, they do interest me. And it was pretty entertaining to watch, because it's somewhere in the realm of Alice Cooper and KISS
And Darth Vader.
And no, what I'm saying
No,
is,
I'm saying the mask makes me think of Darth Vader. I think it's a good gimmick.
what I'm saying is, Alice does more theatrics. KISS doesn't do the kind of theatrics that Alice does. KISS does something different, and I don't know what to call it, but and people may think I'm crazy for this, and you wouldn't be wrong, but like, KISS doesn't do the choreographed theatrics the way Alice does it. They do it different, and to me, from watching that concert video, Ghost is somewhere in between that. There's costume changes, just like Alice does. There's almost Broadway show type scenes. Alice does a little bit of that. KISS doesn't do that stuff. But then there's the pyro and the stage show and that kind, and then there's the makeup and the masks and all of that. So if you're an Alice fan or a KISS fan, Ghost, I can tell you right now, after watching the concert movie, I don't need to like Ghost's music. I would go see Ghost just because of the show.
I would too, and I actually like a couple of their songs that I've heard.
Yeah, I'm still digesting it.
Some of their songs are completely completely off the wall, but the ones that I like, or I really like.
Yeah, they're the bottom line is they're very interesting to anybody that's in the world that we're in.
Well,
I
and
would think.
you know what, too? They've created their own identity. They've used influences big time, right? But they've created their own identity. The name is good. The outfits are good. The theme at what they do is good, and their music's different. They also have their own sound too.
And the funny thing is, you know who Ghost is?
Mm-mm.
It's one guy.
What do you mean?
That's it. Tobias Forge is his name. Everybody else in the band is interchangeable because they don't have names and they don't show their faces.
I didn't know that.
So if you look at how many past band members Ghost has had, the list is like that long. And their
Wow.
names, of course, I mean, we're in 2025. Their names are starting to trickle out.
So what you're saying is he has a lot of ghost musicians.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Very, very good. Good job.
Thank you.
And finally, for my news, I went to see Alice Cooper this weekend. And I'll make it quick, but I'd like to start this off by saying that I would watch Nita Strauss knit a sweater. And I would pay a ticket to watch Nita Strauss knit a sweater. Alice was incredible at 77 years old. Alice looks like he's in his 30s. Alice is not a runner around the stage or anything, but he constantly moves. He is and I said this earlier about Ghost, he's very theatrical. He does, he puts all the theatrics in. There's people getting stabbed on stage. There's like a Grim Reaper that comes on stage. Shit, Jason from Friday the 13th came on stage Saturday night. He plays all the songs that he has to play. And he has got to have, and I think I've said this in the past, he has got to have the best band that I've ever seen. I mean, they are just so in tune and they are as tight can be. I mean, they really, really are. And I was going to name the band members and, Nita Strauss. That's what keeps popping in my head. Nita Strauss. Nita Strauss. I don't know why this continues to happen to me. Look, Nita Strauss is absolutely, in my opinion, is beautiful. But Nita Strauss is an amazing, amazing guitar player. And not only is she a very good guitar player, but when you watch her on a stage live, and we've said this before about others, she knows how to command the stage. She knows how to command the stage. What makes it amazing is she commands that stage without stepping on Alice's toes, which to me is a talent that you probably can't learn. Because when Alice walks on stage, of course the crowd goes crazy. But I would argue that when Nita walks out on stage, she gets louder cheers than Alice. And why? Well, the crowd is 75% guys. This does not bother Alice at all. Alice is not an ego guy. He at least doesn't come across as an ego guy. And she knows how to step back. She knows that she plays in the Alice Cooper band. If you're a hooligan and you're an Alice Cooper fan and you either haven't seen Alice or you haven't seen him in years, here's a warning. Go see Alice Cooper one more time, because at 77 years old, it could be over any time now. And I'm going to tell you that the next time Alice is near here, I'm going again. So be on the bus or be under it, because it's something to see. Music we're listening to. You got anything?
Yeah, I'm listening to a lot of Audio Slave, Soundgarden, Chris Cornell. There's 4 songs that I'm working on. Kind of put an acoustic spin on them. Show Me How to Live, Be Yourself, Fell on Black Days, and Nearly Forgot My Broken Heart. So I've been listening to a lot of that and working on some stuff.
Yeah, I don't really have anything. I've kind of been dabbling a little bit into Ghost, but I haven't had the time to really even talk about specific songs or anything at this point. We'll see if I keep dabbling.
I'm going to be dabbling in that too because they do interest me. They do. They definitely are, and they're definitely very popular right now. So I definitely want to hear more of them too.
Oh, they're definitely popular. They just played in Philadelphia a couple weeks ago. You couldn't fit a Tic Tac in that arena.
Well, I mean, you're going. They put on a good show too. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to like the music. I used to say that about KISS all the time. When I would say to somebody, I'm gonna go to a KISS show. You want to go to a KISS show? Oh, I'm not a KISS fan. Yeah, you don't have to be.
How many were Kiss fans that when they walked out of that arena?
Right. And you've said that before, and other people have said that before. You know what time it is?
It is poll time.
Yes, it is. It is full time. You know what that means, right?
You're gonna dance around a pole.
I'm a dancer. I'm a romancer. You're a Capricorn and I'm a Cancer. I've been practicing that.
Hey, that's okay. I like that song. I think you know that.
It is poll time. Our weekly polls can be found on our community tab and on our Facebook group. So if you're not a member of our Facebook group, you need to be a member. The question for this week: which one of these albums would you choose if you had to choose between them? Sonic Boom versus Monster. Boy, I threw the Hooligans a curveball. I threw myself a curveball because I didn't know how this was going to turn out. Father Rocco, what say
Yes.
you?
Well, being that the one song I like out of those two albums a lot is Say Yeah, I would say Sonic Boom is the one I picked. Do I know which one the Hooligans picked? It's a toss up. I'm gonna say the Hooligans picked Monster.
Well, I'm going to say, I say this every week, and I'm not bullshitting or making it up, but they went crazy. I mean, we had like 25 votes the end of day one. So that kind of tells me, at least for me, that's when I know, hey, I hit a good one. Because sometimes day one ends with like 2 votes, and I'm like, oh boy, maybe I shouldn't have done this. And they usually get enough votes over the week that usually it's okay. But this one, right out of the gate, boy, people had opinions on. With that being said, would you like to know what the Hooligans think?
Absolutely. I always want to know what the Hooligans think.
I know. That's why I say that, because you say that every time I say that.
And it rings true every time.
Coming in at 40%, Monster,
Oh wow.
which means that 60% of the Hooligans prefer Sonic Boom.
So it's all because of Say Yeah.
I would love to know what it's from. To me, they're two distinctly different albums. I think I prefer Monster over Sonic Boom, but I have to tell you, as I was compiling this, I was thinking, if 60% of the Hooligans prefer Sonic Boom over Monster, maybe I missed something, and maybe I should re-listen to the whole album, in one sitting again and see if they're just all wrong or if they're
you're
on
gonna
to
listen to it
something.
again, I say yeah.
Oh, you say yeah? All right. I'm going to listen to it again, but I'm going to wait until Delilah comes over. Our sponsor for this podcast is Battleborn. Battleborn is a collaborative effort among like-minded individuals and organizations intent on repairing and restoring people who have served our country. We do this by delivering a unique level of support and guidance to those servicemen and women who have emotional and psychological wounds. We provide support directly and indirectly in collaboration with others in our community who value those who have served this nation and its communities. For more information, go to wearebattleborn.com. That's wearebattleborn.com. wearebattleborne.com. All right, let's welcome Victor Ruiz to the Hooligan Nation. Victor is Signals from Mars. So thank you, Victor, for dropping by and bringing your knowledge and intelligence, because we need both knowledge and intelligence. Do you have anything going on over at your channel that you'd like to talk about?
There are a few cool interviews that are coming up shortly. One that's going to be a big surprise for people that have followed what I do over the years. I think people will be pleasantly pleased because they've asked for this interview or the return of someone. I'll just leave it at that. But I've had people clamoring for more content from me in this from this specific person. One could say we're like two pigs in a blanket.
Oh, yes.
So,
yep, one could say that.
One could say that. So, yeah. So just go to signalsfrommars.com to keep up with all the episodes that are coming out. You can buy some illustrious merch like Mr. Cinto has done. Thank you so much for your support. I do have a Hooligan Nation shirt upstairs. For some reason, I didn't wear it. I just brain fart. But
you know what you need, don't you?
Oh wow.
I'm telling you,
it's cheap shill in there.
Everything tastes so much better.
With two pigs in a blanket tastes better than one of those.
Oh yeah. That's what I got in here. I got two pigs in the same blanket right in my drink cup right now. It's great. I always drink hot dog water.
So signalsfrommars.com and patreon.com/Signals from Mars.
I think this is the 4th time.
Yeah, I think so too.
That you've been on the show. But this is the best time because we're going to discuss KISS getting the Kennedy Center honors. So the first thing I want to start with, because I thought this was cool, was a few quotes that came out about this. I'll start with Bruce, the classiest KISS member, I think, that ever. Let's congratulate Paul, Gene, Ace, and Peter for the announcement of being chosen for the 2025 Kennedy Center honors later this year. Wow. President Trump said KISS will be doing something special. That's a big tease for all of us, right? Next is Gene Simmons. KISS is the embodiment of the American dream. We are deeply honored to receive the Kennedy Center honor. Paul, who has come out and called Trump abhorrent in the past. From our earliest days, KISS has embodied the American ideal that all things are possible and that hard work pays off. The prestige of the Kennedy Center honors cannot be overstated, and I accept this on behalf of the long legacy of KISS and all of the band members who helped create our iconic band, which I thought was a classy move.
That is, yeah, I like that.
That, nobody ever thinks about and drives me insane, and I'm sure I'll lose my mind somewhere along this episode about the fact that it's only the 4 original ones. Ace, short and sweet, a dream come true that I never thought would materialize. Ace never says too much. Peter, talk about short and sweet. I feel so blessed. This is the greatest honor of our career. So, does anything surprise either of you with the quotes that they put out? That's the first question.
Yeah, for me, definitely, because yes, Gene has probably more ties to Trump than anyone else because he was on his show back in the day, The Apprentice. But at the same time, there's that famous video where his wife is kind of playing things down about the first election, and I forget what her exact quote was, and he didn't say anything. And then, as you've mentioned, Paul has said stuff in the past. So it kind of, when I first heard it, I'm like, well, what's their reaction going to be? I can't foresee them saying anything negative because they're obviously their own biggest fans. At the same time, as I told you guys off air, I was thinking all day how to broach this whole conversation without making it political, because it's something that the president has nominated and has now pulled them in. So, I mean, there's a few things that have come to mind, but it shocks me that, no pun intended, I didn't mean to say that, but it surprises me that Paul, for example, didn't come out and say, or that Paul said something that classy. This is the first time I'm hearing this. I'm surprised that he didn't go out and pout and do his usual spiel that he always does. Because usually when he's dead set on a subject, he doesn't normally stray from his underlining message.
Paul's kind of complicated, if you guys didn't know that.
Oh no, not at all.
Complex.
And I think Paul's politics is complicated because he can jump far right to far left for far right depending on the topic. I think Gene leans more towards the right, but Paul is kind of the wild card. And Ace and Peter, I really don't know. I have no idea. I don't think either of them even get into politics much.
Oh yeah. Ace on his before the elections had there was a big to do where he was showing pictures of Trump on the screen behind him and saying things before the election in favor of him.
In favor of Trump?
That's surprising.
Trump. Yeah.
He's probably looking for Trump to wipe away his IRS debt. I didn't say that. Didn't mean it. If I said it, I didn't mean it. Father Rocco, thank you.
I like it for a lot of reasons, and I can look at it and I completely can take the politics out of it, because if I ask a question to both of you, is KISS deserving?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think that they are. Yeah.
Right. So I mean, you have Led Zeppelin in there, you got KISS in there. There's probably other bands that you could probably say put in there, but regardless of why Trump did it, I know he probably has a decent relationship with Gene, but personally, what I like about this is it's a nice big shitburger to all those people that overlooked him in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame all those years.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what I like the most about it.
And that will come up in a few minutes, because that to me is one of the biggest questions. Like, is this bigger than the Hall of Fame?
It is to me.
It seems like it is to most people, and it seems like it should be, just because of the lack of that musical genre.
Well, we did that episode, right, on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. How much credibility has the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame lost over the years?
Oh, I don't know that it has any at this point.
That's what I'm saying.
And I think that and we don't want to, because I can go on for hours over this, and that doesn't have anything to do with whether it's defined as rock and roll or not. It's more got something to do with the fact that it's 100% a good old boys club. So when Bruce Springsteen gets in, his janitor gets inducted with him. When KISS gets in, oh no, you can only have the 4 original members. There's something not so right there about that.
I'll also say this, that, and this is from doing shows on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame every year, outside of the US, nobody gives a shit. You talk to people. I have guests on frequently that are from the UK, Ireland, Sweden, and they could care less. And whenever the topic comes up, they think it's a joke.
Do you think it's historic? And if so, why?
Yeah, I think it's definitely historic because you guys have mentioned it. Only Led Zeppelin and The Who are even remotely close to KISS when it comes to bands that are in there, that are in the Kennedy Center honors. Um, and just any sort of recognition after the band has been slagged by critics and different people for years, to have this kind of recognition, I think is a big deal. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, me too. I mean, one of the things that hopefully it draws in is more understanding of the impact of every aspect of what a rock and roll band is, what they bring to the table, marketing, and everything that KISS has ever done, and all the bands that have followed that and learned from KISS. Like there's only a few people there in the Kennedy Center, and that they're one of the few for, hopefully it's going to make people realize for a reason, because there's so many layers to what KISS has influenced in future generations of rock and roll.
I have a quote that comes from the Seattle Daily Times from a review from May 27th, 1974. I hope the four guys that make up the group, whose names doesn't matter, are putting money away for their future, because KISS won't last long.
Yeah.
They've put that on t-shirts, so they've even made money off that guy.
Now 50 some years later, they've sold over 100 million albums. They've had over 2,800 shows, and they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and they are the third hard rock, heavy metal band to be given the Kennedy Center honors. I think they have proven every critic wrong. The only issue that I have is that they only honor the original band. And without going completely lunatic, I just think that that's wrong on every level. You cannot look at KISS and just look at 74 to 79 and judge them off of that. Like, they're not, if KISS would have broke up in 1979 completely, they don't make the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right.
They don't get Kennedy Center honors. So why is it only the four original members that ever get honored? Right. It took a village. And look, I understand that it's difficult.
And that goes for Bill Coyne too.
Well, yes, but I think that's a little different of a story, because very rarely that I know of does managers and everybody else get inducted.
No, you're right.
Or
I'm just
honored.
I'm just,
But I think a lot of people, especially KISS fans, don't realize that there were a lot of albums sold from 83 to 96. Like, a lot of them.
Absolutely.
There were a lot of shows. There were a lot of albums sold. There was a lot of marketing, a lot of promotion, a lot of merchandise. That's the forgotten time, is from 83 to 96. And that's a great injustice to people like Bruce Kulick and Eric Carr. And to be fair, and Victor, strap yourself into your seat so you don't fall off. The same thing could be said from like 04 to 2024. Like, how do you not recognize 20 years of shows, 2 albums. And I understand the Kiss fans that don't like it, but even if you don't like it, it was still there for you not to like,
Right.
instead of just not being there at all. And like you, Father Rocco, who said out of Sonic Boom and Monster, like you got one Kiss song.
Maybe 2.
Oh, okay, 2 Kiss songs. Those were 2 Kiss songs that you would not have gotten if they walked out the door in 2003, 2004. So I think in a lot of ways it's a glass half full, glass half empty thing.
Well, there's a key word there in that whole thing. They stayed relevant
Only one?
all that time.
Out of
Ups and
everything
downs,
that
they
I
stayed
said,
relevant.
you only found one relevant word? I
Hmm?
got to do better. Out of everything that I said, you only found one relevant
Well, I mean,
word?
relevance kind of sums it all up. I mean, how many bands stay relevant for over 50 years?
Very few. Can probably put it on one hand.
That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, there are so many legendary things about this band that you can not like them, you can throw shade at Kiss, but you can't dispute the impact that this band has had all this time. That's why it's a slam dunk for me. And that's why the politics, whether you like Trump, hate Trump, doesn't make a difference. At the end of the day, it was the right move because they are deserving of the honor. And I actually was really stoked about it when I heard about it, because I saw the Led Zeppelin thing. I thought it was really well done. And also, Hart did a phenomenal job on Stairway to Heaven. It's one of the best versions of Stairway to Heaven.
Probably a little over a week since the announcement. What's getting more press than anything else is the political angle of it. And I can't figure out, why do any of us care? I don't care who inducted them or who nominated them. It's the fact that they got nominated. Do either of you know who nominated Led Zeppelin? No.
I have no idea.
Does anybody out there in the podcast world care?
I doubt it.
Nope. Anybody know who nominated The Who? Bruce Springsteen, Billy Joel? No. Well, why do we care who nominated Kiss?
Well, here's a flip of another weird way to relate it to. If Kamala or Obama, or do we know for sure that if one of them were in charge, they wouldn't nominate him? That's what I'm saying. They're so deserving that I don't think it really makes a difference who was the one pulling the strings. They're deserving. At the end of the day, they're deserving.
Right. And I think ultimately that's the mic drop and the end of the argument, is you have to ask yourself, do you think they're deserving or not? And if your answer is yes, just move
Then it
on.
doesn't matter. Right. Then it doesn't matter.
Just move on. Who cares about The Who? Oh, no, I don't mean the rock band The Who, but either way. Pete Townsend's 80 years old, and he just came out and said that he thinks he's got 5 more years. He's only got 5 more years to perform. And he's 80 years old, and I'm still wondering, what the hell are you doing on stage at 80 years old anyway? These are the things I think about. Why do you think this recognition is different from chart success or platinum records?
I think that, I think it's a big deal in just the recognition alone, that obviously that is behind them, and that's what kind of helped lead them to this spot. The biggest issue that I think most people have is just, again, the who nominated them, and I'm not sure if you're going to mention this later on, but I've seen comments where, I love the band so much, but I don't want them to be grouped in as a Trump band, because I don't agree with the politics or whatnot.
It doesn't even make any sense for somebody to say that. It doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah, the problem, the problem is how hypersensitive people are on the internet. And it comes back to, I always think of the fact that whenever, for example, Metallica's Black Album has eclipsed another plateau and, oh, it's now sold this much, you still get a bunch of people that say, oh, well, that's the album where they sold out, man. And my opinion has always been the same. Well, would you prefer it to be would you prefer it to be Garth Brooks's Chris Gaines album, as opposed to Metallica's Black Album? Okay, so it's not your favorite album, but it's got that recognition. So I get it. They don't like who nominated it, but at the same time, don't you think that the band deserves that recognition?
Again, everything, it's like a magnet. Everything goes back to the deserving part of it. That's why, to me, Trump has nothing to do with it. I mean, he made a smart decision as far as I'm concerned of nominating them. But I really can't say if Obama was president that Obama wouldn't do it, because they are deserving of the honor.
Mm.
Yeah, and it comes at the right time.
Yeah, that's true too. Good timing.
They just kind of retired within the last 18 months. Like it does come at the right time. Yeah, I think there's a legitimate argument that if it was someone else, they may have gotten nominated anyway. Because at the end of the day, if you look at I love to do this. If you look at the totality of circumstance, they should be in there.
Right. I mean, what did you say about the Hard Rock, the Hard Rock Hall of Fame? Like it's
Rock
a good
and
old
Roll
boys club, like a good old boys club.
Yeah.
This is the epitome of what it's not a good old boys club. So that's what I'm saying. It's not like these were Trump's boys. You know what I'm saying? Like it to me, that's a distorted way of looking at it.
I didn't look at it. I mean, I didn't dig into. I don't know if George Strait is a Trump backer or Gloria Gaynor is a Trump backer, but I mean, I think if that was the case, that would be everywhere. It's just like everything else. The critics constantly have to come after KISS for something. And this is the textbook case of that. Well, they shouldn't do this because it's Trump, and they shouldn't do that. Number one, anybody who thinks that Gene and Paul aren't going to accept some kind of recognition, doesn't matter who it is, hasn't been paying attention for the last 50 years.
Yeah.
If you don't think that on kissonline.com, there isn't going to be KISS Kennedy Center Honors t-shirts sold, you're out of your mind, right? Because that's not the way KISS does business. Gene Simmons could hate Donald Trump. He would still put out the same kind of quote. He would still show up there and accept his award. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Look, I don't think there's anything wrong with a band like Iron Maiden saying, we don't care about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We don't want to be inducted. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I also don't think there's anything wrong with the bands that say, no, we really want this. Like, we earned this. We worked for 50 years to get this kind of thing. I can tell you personally, no matter what the politics were, if you're going to give me an award that I deserve and I earned, I'm going to accept it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and here's the other thing too. Like, I'll make it quick. Like they don't. Nobody starts out to be in a Hall of Fame or these honors. They start out because they're musicians who want to be successful. Just like with sports, baseball, football, they don't start playing the sport because they think they're going to end up in a Hall of Fame someday. Eventually, the work that put in is what you get rewarded for.
And the other thing is that everybody continues to forget is this is the music business.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the music business to us, the fans, but it is the music business to them. And not that Paul and Gene, well, I'm sure they're going to figure out a way to make some money out of this, but they don't even own KISS anymore. But
Right.
I can bet you right now, Gene's sitting somewhere figuring out how do I make some money off of this. And
You could bank on that.
and that shouldn't be looked at negatively because he's in the music business.
Mhm.
You know, and we had this discussion over the roadie thing. I don't knock Gene for trying to get $12,500. I don't knock the people who paid the $12,500. I'm just on record constantly saying I ain't working for anybody for free because he ain't working for me for free. But I don't knock him for trying. I mean, he's selling a $50,000 gold record with, how much was it? $23,000 worth of gold. So they're making $27,000 profit off of it. Hey, more to you. I don't want it. I'd rather buy a regular record, get a gold spray paint and paint it gold and put it on my wall and call it a day. But that's just me.
How good is your spray technique nowadays?
It's pretty good. I got, you gotta whip your hand at the end. So you
Okay.
don't get too much runoff.
Yeah,
Um,
when this was announced, the first thing that came to mind for me was how much business did they do for him down in Atlantic City? You know, because I'm assuming that relationship started with him promoting their shows.
That's
You
a good
know,
take. That's a good
at
take. I didn't
some
even think of
point.
that angle.
Yeah. So, what the heck was the name of the
Taj
arena?
Mahal?
No, but well, they may have played the Taj Mahal, but
Yeah, Trump Plaza.
there was the arena that they had down there that he helped
Oh,
promote.
Estes Arena, right? Estes
Could
Arena, I
be
think.
before that it had a different name.
I know what you're talking about.
And he helped promote it quite a bit. So I'm guessing that's how their relationship originally started, with him promoting them somehow. So that was the first thing that kind of came to mind was, wow, I'm sure he's made plenty of money off the band over the years. So this is kind of him scratching their back all these years later. If, you know what, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame want to dishonor them, or these other people don't want to take them seriously, then I don't care. I'm going to do it because, we've worked together all these years. And I forget his exact quote, which was something to the effect of them being a very important rock and roll band in the grand scheme of things for America. So
Mhm.
that's why he nominated them.
It's true.
So, um, so
I,
I possibly that's not the case, but possibly not the case that he's doing this because of that. But it was kind of the first thing that jumped out at me. But I'm sure that they've had a good relationship over the years at one level or another, even if they didn't always sync up politically.
I don't see Donald Trump rocking and rolling and partying every day.
I was just going to ask that question.
I don't
Just
see him
gonna
listening to
ask
Kiss
that.
music. What?
I was just going to ask that question. You mean to tell me when Donald is tweeting at 3 o'clock in the morning, you don't think he's got Creatures of the Night rocking in the background?
Wow, that would be interesting. I doubt it.
You know? Or
You know what? There's so many freaking memes of Donald Trump. I would love to see one of them in like maybe the cat makeup.
Melania's rolling around in bed. Donald, turn that down.
Yeah.
I don't need to hear War Machine for the fourth time tonight at 3 a.m.
Yeah, that's not happening.
You don't think that's happening?
It makes me curious what kind of music he listens to.
I am not curious about what kind of music.
I know it's not Kiss. Let's just say that. I know it's not Kiss. He didn't put him in because he digs their music.
I heard he was a huge Kiss fan. Just kidding.
Okay.
Here's what I think is a good question. Why do you think they received the Kennedy Center honors? Politics aside, scratching each other's backs aside, unless you think that's the reason why.
I think that's the catalyst. I think it's the catalyst to actually open the door for them to get the recognition. But I'm with Rocco 100%. They deserve it. I mean,
But
to me,
why do they deserve it? Do you think it's the album sales? Do you think it's the 2,800 shows? Do you think it's
the whole
the
package,
Yeah,
marketing?
the whole, what he
the
just
band,
said.
yeah, the band's important. You know, they've affected the industry as a whole for so many years,
And in so many
um,
ways.
in so many different ways. And you know, the whole two pigs in a blanket thing that you guys talk about for me on my show is saying that Kansas is the greatest American band of all time because I was on a show where somebody said that, and I said there's no way that it was Kansas. I go, just look at the magnitude. I go, you can argue with me all you want about Van Halen and Aerosmith about being, and I said I'll even throw you I'll even throw a curveball out there and maybe Boston. But if I have to listen to any of those bands, I'm gravitating towards Kiss because what they've meant to me in my life and how I think that they've impacted the industry, how they've influenced on not only the musical level but the marketing level, the showmanship level, the way that they changed how concerts were done, from sound systems that were used for the mics to the pyro to et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think the whole package makes it important. And also,
They set the foundation. Not
yeah,
just them too, their village, Bill a
right.
coin, the band, but they set the tone for future people, for future acts. Oh, I almost lost you.
What the hell?
I almost lost you guys. Sorry.
Another earthquake
Yeah,
in
yeah, right.
Did you hear that?
That is one thing that has never happened while we were taping. It might be the only thing that hasn't happened. I
Victor,
thought he was going to
you missed
fall
the,
off the chair.
what about the bird? You missed the day
Oh,
where the bird was flying around. Oh my God. We've had so
oh
many
wow.
different things. I'm not even joking. I wish I was.
Like that's part of I guess what I'm trying to get at is, and Victor, you said that the band changed your life. If the band hadn't changed your life, don't you think you would think that they were deserving of this honor, even if you weren't a Kiss fan? Like, and I don't know this, but I would think that even people that aren't fans of Kiss watched them be nominated and went, "Oh yeah, they deserve that." Like, I don't think you have to be a Sylvester Stallone fan to go, yeah, he's deserving of that, or a Billy Joel fan or a Bruce Springsteen fan to say, oh yeah, I can understand that. I mean, that I immediately went to the list of people that are that have been honored by the Kennedy Center. And I didn't go through the list from top to bottom, but I looked through the list and was like, oh yeah, I can understand that. Oh yeah, I get that. It just seems to me like critics are jumping on the politics, and even some Kiss fans are jumping on the politics, and they're missing the point
Right.
that this band revolutionized a large part of the music business, and him and I have had this discussion in the past on this podcast, that someone like Taylor Swift and Lady Gaga and Drake, and they should be thanking Kiss because no one was promoting or marketing themselves or merchandising until Kiss paved the way, and they created that. The shows you see, you go to a ghost show. And Victor, you ever seen Ghost? Do you know, like, you know anything about Ghost?
I have the right there, right where my finger is the last DVD that they released. So yeah,
Okay, the concert DVD. I just
yeah,
watched that last weekend, and
Cool.
you can't watch that show without saying, "Oh, they were inspired by Kiss." Like,
I saw Ramstein years ago, and it was the first thing that came to mind. I'm like, these guys are huge Kiss fans.
right. That I think that's what people should be gravitating to, not the politics of it, because regardless of the politics, they do deserve to be recognized, and not for just hundreds of millions of records, because other bands have sold hundreds of millions of records, but it's everything all together. It's the longevity, it's the record sales, it's the live show ticket sales, it's the we just did a show a couple weeks ago. It's the reinvention. We did a podcast a couple weeks ago on well, it was like reinvention versus
Evolution,
imitation.
imitation.
It was evolution versus imitation. What's the biggest imitation that Kiss has ever done?
With them imitating something else, you're saying?
Yeah, it's Creatures of the Night is the biggest imitation, and I would say that Crazy Crazy Nights is probably second. No one ever brings up the fact that Creatures of the Night was imitation,
Mhm.
and that's because everybody likes it.
Damn good imitation.
Right. But
Right.
but they were imitating it. You brought it up in the episode that when we did the album review. The new wave of British heavy metal, that's where it came from. That's absolutely 100% where it came from. Doesn't that make it imitation?
But like you guys just said, because most people like it, that isn't brought up. But with Crazy Nights or Dynasty, people have an issue with it because it didn't go in the direction that a lot of people wanted. To what you mentioned before, I think that there are haters that are going to hate regardless.
Sure.
I mean, with the bands that are in there, I don't like every band that's in there. Listen, if you're looking for late night ASMR, sure, throw the Eagles on. Are they really, in my opinion, do they do anything for me outside of bore me? No, but that doesn't mean that I don't think that they have an audience, or that their audience shouldn't think that they deserve to be there. Just because I don't like it or just because I don't agree with it doesn't mean that I can't let other people enjoy it. That's why I have a problem with Kiss fans not celebrating this.
I do too.
By thinking, you know what? We need to promote this, whether there are ulterior motives, whether this was political or not. It's my band, and I'm still going to support my band. So if my band is there, then I want to make my voice heard and make sure that it's them and it's not Kansas.
Yeah, I look at Kiss has always had, because of the critics, always had to be like the last in line at the food table. They always had to be the last one getting any respect. This is one of those moments where they're one of the first to get respect in that genre. You know what I'm saying? The Kiss fans should be like, I don't give a shit who nominated them. It's about damn time that they're the lead dog or one of the lead dogs now.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and yes. What was it? 14 years they waited to go in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's a nice big shit burger to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. In my opinion.
Well, I agree with you. All right, so I got a couple more questions, and they get better as we go on.
Hey, guess what? We have answers for you.
Well, but do you have the correct answers? That's the question.
Oh, you'll have to wait and see.
Who do you think plays at their ceremony?
This to me, I've been thinking about, because at first I was thinking Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, are they going to play? And then I realized the whole Led Zeppelin thing. Well, it was Hart and it was these other people. So who do I want to have up there playing their music?
Who do you want,
this is good,
or who do you think? Because I know who I want, but I'm not sure that that's gonna happen.
Oh, I know who I want. And yeah, much to your point, there's no way that they're coming anywhere near this. which is why I think whoever we end up getting, I just hope it isn't something overly generic. I just hope it isn't, someone play like, again, the Heart thing was was a masterpiece. It was great. It was beautiful. Um, do I want Florida Country Line or whatever the heck the name of that band is?
Florida Georgia line,
Florida Georgia Line. There you go. So
Um,
goes to show my knowledge of country music. Do I want somebody like that doing Kiss just because they're popular? Do I want, I don't know, something out of left field?
I don't know, dude. That was
What
pretty far out of
what-
left field, Florida
Yeah,
Georgia
no, but
line.
I'm thinking.
I mean,
I'm
if you
trying
want to
think.
go farther
I
out in left field, Florida Georgia line and Nelly.
And
That's
Nelly,
how
there you go.
I kind of would love to see like 4 or 5 genres artists that were influenced by Kiss perform. Lady Gaga, Garth Brooks. Like I want to see something represented that shows the impact of different genres. Celebrate it.
But we're probably only gonna get one song or a melody, if that,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's funny because this gets said over and over again by other people that do what we do, and outside of that, none of us really. I've never really paid attention to the Kennedy Center honors because they always honor music that's not my music. So I don't pay much attention to it. So I don't know. All I know about it is that the band that's being honored, you usually, and I think in one or two cases they have played, but usually doesn't play. Now I don't think there's any chance in the world that the four of them are going to get up there and play, even if they wanted to. And the reason being is because if they're going to get up there and play, they're going to do it in makeup and costume.
Yeah, but they're usually in the artists or the people getting honored are usually in the it's like paying homage. They're in the balcony
Right.
usually to get paying tribute to them.
Right. But the reason why I asked this question is because I have like my dream, and my dream is very simple. Get the super group from VH1 honors and have them go out there and do God of Thunder. And to me, you can't beat that. Like Rob Zombie, Scott Ian, Gilby Clark, Slash, Tommy Lee, and I guess Ace can't go up there. But you put them up there to do it. I have a feeling that you're going to get like Lady Gaga or someone like Taylor Swift or something, because they're going to try to bring mainstream into it.
I mean,
And I
honestly,
don't
if I'm
know.
being honest, like that's one of the things that I love about Kiss more than anything. It is so wild to me when I see an artist that has nothing to do with Kiss at all, that has no similarities whatsoever of an artist. Like Garth Brooks. When I found out he was a Kiss fan, it surprised the hell out of me. And I like a lot of his stuff. But that kind of stuff always is pretty cool to me when you see just the influence in the different areas that Kiss has influenced.
I mean, it's funny to me because the rumors, and they are rumors, the rumors that are running around are Kid Rock and Ted Nugent. And it literally took me till about 20 minutes before we started taping to figure out, because I'm thinking to myself, why the hell would Ted Nugent go out there and do that? Like it Ted Nugent, they're equals. Maybe not in record sales, but they're equals. Why would Ted Nugent go out there and honor Kiss? Just like why would Kiss go out and honor Ted Nugent for anything?
He warmed up a lot for them though.
He
Yeah.
did, but what I'm saying is they're kind of equals. They come from the same era. Ted Nugent was huge in the 70s. Like,
But if you're trying, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but if they're
no, now we become an official Hooligan Nation podcast. There you go. You want Garth Brooks to play A World Without Heroes, don't you?
sure, I love it. I would love that.
There you go. We're done. That's it, folks. Have a nice day. We can go now.
You can wish upon a star.
Go ahead, continue.
You made me lose my thoughts, so let's just move on.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know what? I lost my thought too. So
Go ahead, Vic, take over.
Vic, take over. We're gonna go get something to eat. Just let us know when you're finished. All right.
A few things. I'll sign on for the VH1 Rock Honors band to come out, so long as Tommy Thayer's the one that comes out and does the solo for God of Thunder in place of Ace doing his moves.
Are you gonna be okay?
Every time I think I'm out, somebody pulls me back in.
Wait, quick! Somebody give him a comic book.
Oh my God. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, as soon as we're done with this episode, I'm gonna color a page in my
Coloring
Tommy
book,
Thayer
sorry.
coloring book.
Yeah. So there's that. The other thing, the Ted Nugent thing. I mean, Ted Nugent, I think, was managed by the same. I don't know if a coin managed him, but I know Doc did. So that's why when they did like the farewell tour, it was Ted Nugent, Skid Row, and them, because they were all kind of all McGee bands. So that's why they've continued to do stuff together. If I'm not
But you
mistaken.
can't be. It would be so polarizing, though. You can't have those two guys there. If you're trying to avoid the politics of it, you can't have those two guys.
No, I
Yeah.
gotta tell you, I gotta tell you right now. If the night of the Kennedy Center honors, Ted Nugent walks out on stage, it is political. It 100% is
that's why it
political,
can't be.
and
But
they
that's-
cannot do that.
Yeah, that's why they can't. They can't do that.
They gotta try to keep. Politics does not belong in the arts. To me, it doesn't belong in there. It just doesn't. We've had this discussion over and over again. I don't want to hear about your politics at the concerts. Just sing me a song. Like you get. I don't care. Like who needs votes where. You got to try to keep the politics out of it, and Kid Rock would be the same thing.
Right.
Like you got to avoid that as much as possible. To me,
It's got to be KISS connections. It's got to be people that it can't have
Or
anything to do with that.
somebody that was hugely influenced by them. To me, the band I want to see play, and it's never going to happen, and they've said that they're an influence, is Metallica. What bigger
Wow.
band could you have go out there who says that they're an influence, who will do the band justice, and who is enormous enough that it will be respected by most people, and hopefully turn people on to KISS as is. You know,
You know what? Metallica's always done that too. They always pay tribute to what's followed before them too.
yeah, arguably more than any other band that I can think of.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like common sense wise, that it might be the Foo Fighters. Like they're big enough, they're mainstream enough. Dave Grohl is coming back from being sort of canceled. I mean, he was smart enough that he canceled himself for like 2 years so he could rebuild. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but I don't think that the Trump administration would run from Dave Grohl's, I don't even know how to put it, from his indiscretions, let's just say.
His father had, which is one of the reasons why his politics are all over the place. His father was a campaign writer for Republicans in Washington, and then his mother was a Democrat. So, it's kind of, if I'm not mistaken, all over the place with politics because of that. So,
Next question. What do you think this does for the KISS Corporation going forward? You guys are looking at me like I'm crazy. In other
Nah,
words,
I
do
No,
you think that there's a chance that this becomes something to run with? I'm not talking
no.
about a reunion tour,
no.
but
I think it's a badge to pin on them when it happens, and it's something to list, somewhere in their bio, but I don't think it's something that they need to promote all the time. It isn't it isn't like Evander Holyfield going to a signing where he has to reaffirm, hey, he was the, X amount of times heavyweight champion. They don't have to go out there and say, and Kennedy Rock Honors Band Kiss.
Yeah, I don't think that's about. I think I mirror the same thoughts. I don't think this is about. I don't think this is. It's gonna sound funny, but I don't think it's a marketable. I don't think it's
Right.
about marketability. I mean, maybe it's shirts and whatever, but I don't think it's about. It's more substantial than and not substantial is not the word, but the way it's more legitimizing of just what they meant than the marketability of it. Maybe
Right.
if I said that right.
so you
No,
guys think it's just a chance for the four of them to go out and take, let's say, a final bow together, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because I have to tell you, I feel like I would not be doing my job here if I didn't already think about the possibilities of a residency to roll off of this,
Yeah,
or
but that's already been that's kind of already in the works, isn't it? Don't you think?
no,
You don't think that
well,
that's already been talked about? Come on.
I don't know. I don't know if it's already been talked about or not. It hasn't
I,
even been rumored.
no, I know. I'm just saying, like, those are things that
But
when
I'm wondering if now the rumors will start to go, because that kind of is Kiss's MO, is something like this happens and all of a sudden, specifically Gene and Paul go, huh, we can capitalize on this. And
them or Pop House.
the second, well, and I think that dirties up the question a little bit, because we don't know what the contract with Pop House looks like. So, if Kiss went and did a residency in with any lineup, who gets paid?
I just don't think there's a. I don't think it's a clear cut correlation. I do. I think a residency is off the table.
And I wasn't
No,
specifically and only talking about a residency, but it wouldn't shock me if Donald Trump called, and I'm not saying that Donald Trump called Gene Simmons, but whoever called Gene Simmons and said, "Hey, just want to let you know, you're going to be nominated tomorrow for the Kennedy Center honors. Did you tell Paul yet?" "Yeah, we called Paul first." "Okay, thanks." Gene picking up the phone and going, "Paul, do you think we should get in the studio and make an album and have it come out in December?" "Well, why would we do that?" "Because we're going to be back in media everywhere and people are going to buy it." Like, is that out of the question? Am I crazy for that?
yeah. Well, if maybe
I
if they're
mean,
in their
they've been
late
training me.
fifties, maybe.
They've been training me for 50 years to think like this. So all of a sudden, they're gonna flip the script and they're not gonna do that. I don't know.
Listen, if
I
it
don't
pops in
know.
your head, it's worth saying. But I think it's more. I think it's more of a. I mean, if they're at the age that they are right now, I think that they're going to have pick and choose any little projects that they want to do. It's going to be selective. It's going to be completely dictated the way they want, and it's not going to be with a lot of substance for long periods of time. You know what I mean? I just don't see that. Not at their age.
I just want to clear something up real quick. Not everything that pops into my head should be said. And I know this. Okay.
Okay.
I just want to let you two know that I do filter myself out of necessity. Okay.
Good. That's good.
I'm trying. I think this is my last question. My last question. Do you believe that this is the biggest honor that they have ever gotten? Is there anything that beats this?
Yes.
Yeah. You know what? I thought it was going to take me longer to answer that, but yeah. Yeah. And I love it.
Okay, what beats it? Wait, yes, it's the
Yes.
biggest honor?
I think it's the biggest honor.
Victor,
think
you
they
think
have-
it's the biggest honor?
No, I think the acceptance by the KISS Army and um, how the KISS Army has always backed them up over the years. Most fan bases would want that honor over anything.
Oh,
So
well, yeah. I'm not going to, that's undeniable. I'm just saying, like, he's like from the masses, from like people who are not connected, given an honor. I think that's
okay.
the biggest honor.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I saw the okay, so it's a big deal because like I said before, because they're getting recognition. The recognition that they deserve. I'll leave it at that.
Is there anything else that they could possibly get that would be bigger? Is there anything left? You know, you got VH1 Rock Honors. They don't even do that anymore. You got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You've sold over 100 million records. You've sold Kiss and made reported $350 million. You like it or not like it, they're 2027. There's going to be an Avatar thing to keep the band alive. They retired roughly 18 months ago, and they're going to do this Kiss in Vegas thing. Is there anything else, in either one of your opinions, that they could get or do that would top this?
There isn't anything serious. I mean, I could think of some fakakta things to say to try to make you guys kind of laugh or smile, but in all seriousness, probably not.
So this is it.
Yeah, I got a question for both of you, though, real quick.
Please.
Really think about it when I finish making this statement.
Every time you make a statement, I really think about it.
Oh, thank you.
That's
Do you
not
think?
always a
Do you
good
think
thing.
they were surprised?
No, I think they knew about it.
Yeah.
Actually, I would not be surprised if Gene Simmons didn't know about this months in advance. Do I think that Gene picked the phone up and called Peter? No, I think Peter was probably surprised. I can tell you right now, for a year, we're coming up on just about a year of doing this podcast. Okay. I am in the middle of KISS stuff 7 days a week at this point. I never, it never even crossed my mind. I never said to myself, boy, you know, KISS should get honored by the Kennedy Center. Never even crossed my mind. Completely off my radar.
Well, that's why I asked you if you thought they were surprised, because again, there's not a lot of bands like them in that. To me, it's like out of left field when I heard it.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest reason why this is the biggest honor of their career is because of the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, and The Who. That's the reason why. They three bands that not the entire band, but you know, Paul idolizes Led Zeppelin, The Who, and the Beatles. Gene idolizes the Beatles. You know,
That's a good angle
Ace
because
Ace idolizes Led Zeppelin.
And the
I've
Who.
heard that before.
He loves the Who,
I
too.
haven't heard about the Who, but so I think that's why this becomes the biggest recognition that they ever got, and not only because of that, but it's different than the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in that there is so many less people or bands. They're in a much smaller group right now, whether anybody likes to hear it or not. And
I like to hear it.
I've said this 3 or 4 times during this. Led Zeppelin, The Who, and KISS. That's all you got for anything harder than mainstream rock. 3. You're one of 3.
With bands that they idolize,
Right.
That's gotta be a great feeling.
So and I don't think that this is going to happen, but in reality, especially for Paul and Gene, who clearly don't need the money, but they definitely need the adulation because, well, they're on a podcast every week, not called Signals from Mars or Hooligan Nation, actually, but that's their mistake. But
Absolutely.
they don't. Paul and Gene could take this recognition and literally sail off into the sunset. They don't need the money. They don't need any of this at this point. Ace and I have heard that Peter during his second chance saved his money and is good, but Ace, everybody knows this. Not knocking you, Ace, okay? But Ace owes the IRS enough money that they won't let him leave the country.
Right.
So, like Ace, if I was Ace, I would be using this as a platform to do something else. But Gene and Paul, see ya. They won't do that.
They won't
it's
because
not
what
in
else
their
do you do?
personality.
They've done this for how many years? How do you stop it? How do you turn it off? Look at the Stones. You know what I mean?
It's called retirement.
I don't think guys like them retire.
I can't argue with that. All right, you guys got anything else you'd like to, grace us with?
Yeah, I've got one last thing here. One of the cool things about visiting the States is that I always go back and bring stuff with me. And we're recording this.
What'd you buy that's going to cost me money?
No. I didn't buy anything. I had this at my parents' house. This was released 45 years ago, 2 days ago, as of this recording. And it is KISS-Centric.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
I
remember the interview before they took that picture, when they took that picture.
Yeah, so this is when Eric Carr was introduced to the world.
Right.
So I couldn't
That's cool.
end the episode without bringing it up. I probably should have brought it up at the beginning of the show, but
yeah, that's appropriate. That's cool.
You bring it up whenever you want. Father Rocco, you got anything?
No, like I said, it makes me really happy that they're getting their due, and they're getting their due in this category. They're getting their due at the front of the line.
Well, thank you, Victor,
thank
for
you guys for
gracing
having
us.
me.
Yes, thank you, Victor,
with your presence, your knowledge, and your intelligence, because we always need knowledge and intelligence here, because, well, we're short on those 2 things usually. But that's what makes us
it's like a bowl of chili. You add the spice.
Yeah, and then you add some hot dogs in the bowl of chili, and you get 2 pigs in the same blanket.
There you go.
Oh, man.
All right, Vic, thank you.
Get some rest,
Thank
bro.
you, guys. Yeah.
If you're listening to us on any of the podcast platforms, please leave us a review. And if you just found us, check out our past episodes. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel and you like this episode, please consider hitting the like button, just like that guy, and leaving us a comment. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future episodes just like that guy. And check out these episodes right here. As always, if you made it this far, thank you for supporting us. And don't forget, if it's too loud, you're too old. Peace out, Hooligan Nation.